Hey guys, I'm Comire. This is Start and Select, and it's Easter. Hooray! I've got my Easter eggs over here, and I want to talk about how awesome Easter eggs are in video games. Right after I had some of that. Oh, sorry. So, Easter eggs. On one hand, a delicious chocolatey treat of the season that has nothing to do with Jesus, and considering rabbits give birth to live young, even less to do with bunnies. But on the other hand, an Easter egg is also a fun little extra in a computer program, film, or in this case a video game that is, more often than not, less necessary than Selena Gomez's opinion on anything. An Easter egg never matters to the performance or plot of the piece. It's kind of like a pitch-side football mascot, you know? It comes along and it makes you laugh, and very occasionally it has a massive go at some guy that may or may not have it coming. For example, the original Easter egg is credited to the 1979 Atari game Adventure. Now, stranger things happened in the 80s and I care to mention. Like, people were dressed like characters from Saved by the Bell, teletext was a thing, and if you moved a grey dot in a video game, you might come across the frustrated remains of programmer Warren Robinette. You see, Warren wanted credit for his work in Adventure, which Atari refused to do. So what did he do? He just went ahead and stuck his name in there anyway. Warren Robinette might be the closest thing to a sassy black woman that video game development has ever seen. And when Easter eggs aren't randomly taking a pop at upper management, they're firing shots at each other. Like this familiarly robed cold dead guy in The Witcher 2, or this really cold dead guy in Spyro the Eternal Night. I mean, with all the pressures of deadlines, financial investors, fan expectations, sometimes the only way to get through it all is through the extremely cathartic method of publicly letting Steven Spielberg know that everyone still thinks King of the Crystal Skull sucked. But generally, Easter eggs are a lot less vindictive than that. After Atari found out about Robinette's breach of policy, they wanted their programs to include secrets like his in future titles. They recognized that it was an extra challenge that got added to their games, and they believed that players would search for these hidden treats much like you would an Easter egg hunt, which is where we get the name. I mean, some would say that exploiting the behaviors of children you're 50% sure have OCD is probably a bit unethical. But others would probably point out that taking advantage of little kids was all the rage in the 80s. Keeping a fun surprise behind a locked door until a condition is met is always gratifying, and the bigger and more unexpected the payoff, the better. And it doesn't even need to make sense. To this day, I can't explain why Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 has Spider-Man on a skateboard, or why Bayonetta 2 has a Celestial Witch on a freaking Starfighter. And on that note, it is awesome when an Easter egg references another video game or TV show. I mean, reason being because it's that game creator showing that they're a fan of something. And if you're so lucky to be a fan of that thing too, then you have something in common. You have a connection with the person behind the game. A person that's celebrating that fandom. In the same way that I celebrate video games by making these videos, or that you celebrate Barney the Dinosaur by googling creepy fanfiction. And just as good as when an Easter egg calls back to its own series. Like, when you see a reference to something from a previous game and you get it, it's like a fist bump from Mario himself. It's like a playful knuckle brush in the arm. It's a thank you for being invested in the series. It's a message in a bottle that the game maker has thrown into the ocean just for you, that grants you personal permission to get totally snobby in YouTube comment sections. Because the golf courses of Wii Sports are remakes of an NES game, and people need to know that I know that. A lot of work and care goes into a good Easter egg. Effort that developers know will go largely unnoticed. These people are like farmers, or hospital administrators, or whoever it is that picks my gaming t-shirts before I start recording. They don't do it for the many. They go that little bit extra for you and me. The few that'll get it. The guy or girl sitting on a couch, holding a game controller, knowing that someone in a Ubisoft office out there somewhere just wanted to make them smile. And see how far they could go before getting sued by the company. So I think I've explained pretty nicely why Easter eggs are intrinsically awesome. I mean, maybe you disagree, or maybe you love the ones I've shown so far, or maybe you've got a better one right now. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, or send me a tweet. But for now, I've been Comire, this has been Start and Select. Thank you, and good night. Video game open worlds is like a man in his late 40s, getting bigger and bigger day by day. And when I say big, I mean big. Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain is supposedly 200 times bigger than Ground Zeroes. That's bigger than 500,000 lengths of your local swimming pool. That's bigger than Greece. That's almost as big as your mum.